Hello and welcome to Future Balls, where we pick 3 random topics about the future, extrapolate them out, and try to come up with something new.
Right, one just fell out.
Oh, what do we have first?
One just fell out. Nanobots.
Nanobots, hells yeah.
Yeah, boy. Spins.
What have we got?
Oh my god, it's a long one. Turing-Complete factories. Oh yeah.
Okay, this is cool.
Yeah,
I like this.
This is a real bingo ball machine, by the way.
Yeah.
Can you hear it? ASMR. Spinny.
It's got bits of tape around the outside, so it's hard to read some of them.
Fashion?
Fashion. That is interesting. I did not know that was in there as an actual topic about the future. I mean, fashion is kind of important. Sure.
So, fashion, nanobots, Turing-Complete factories.
Epic. Okay, this is cool.
My first thought is like nanobots and fashion is kind of a pretty cool idea.
Oh,
the
yeah.
idea that you just you have clothes that are just made of tiny little nanobots and it just completely rearranges to whatever you want, like on the fly, dynamic clothing.
Hells yeah. I've been waiting for that for a while. Like, I feel like we've had some of this technology, like even just lights and stuff, basic stuff with fashion, the full-on cyberpunk gear, but it's all terrible. Just shocking stuff.
There's always those things where it's like someone's basically just put like LED screens on their clothing. Like there's those dresses where it's like, oh look, the dress changes color, and it just looks super rigid because we don't have like really good flexible screens.
No, I mean you'd hope with the latest OLED panels and stuff that are coming out that are kind of a little bit flexible. Maybe that's a beginning, but
and then you can't wash them.
Well, yeah, I know. I've often wondered about that. How does that actually work? You have to
all these tech
unpick it all.
Yeah.
God.
I think Google or someone was working on something like some sort of thread that could. It was either super low key, like it was a thread, like a conductive thread, or it was something where it was like thread that could also be illuminated. I don't know.
Hells yeah.
I forget.
Well, I mean, why isn't there thread, right? That you've got addressable LEDs in it, just like tiny little ones. You could have like it all threaded together, and it doesn't have to actually display an image, but it could light up like, subtly and do stuff. They always go over the top with all of the lights and stuff, but maybe just a subtle glow or a subtle outline or something could be really cool.
You just paint yourself in glow in the dark paint.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We're going from like nanobots to like, let's just like talk about how shit the current the current state of this.
What the fuck?
Of fashion.
Oh man. Well, yeah. No, we're playing that with the nanobots. Yeah, change into anything like having one outfit, or just one gloop that you just rub your body all over. You get covered in a silver goop, and that's the fashion now.
Well, would it be? It'd be like permanently attached to you. It'd be almost like bacteria.
That's cool. Yeah.
The other thing could be interesting is it wouldn't have to be something that's like flowing. It's like it could just be adhered to your skin, and the nanobots just kind of refract the light. So everyone's literally walking around naked, but they just cover parts and they just refract light so that it doesn't look like you're just walking around naked.
I like that. That's kind of cool. You just don't have to worry about it. It's like, cool, gooped on. You're naked walking around the city. Be pretty cool. I mean, you could go invisible at that point as well, right? There's all of that different... you often see it pop up now and then about all the different approaches to invisibility. But the basic idea of having the camera from behind you and then projecting it out the front. But so many issues with that.
Yeah, if it bends the light around you somehow.
Well, yeah, because there was a few different things with that. It at least makes you shimmer. I've seen those cloaks and stuff that do that. Yeah, have you seen those videos? There's it's like a full-on cloak that goes around you, and it's I'm not exactly sure how it works.
I think it's just bending light. It's like refracting light.
Yeah, and that looks really cool. Like if you actually had nanorobots to actually do the basics of that, and you could just put it on you just as much as you needed. That would be kind of cool. So even like something like that, that'd be awesome. Like as a glove or just something now. Like why not just have a bit of it as fashion? Sorry, this is just a pet peeve of mine. I've realized. So
just gloves,
bloody fashion.
Well, so like the whole concept of nanobots is you can just ideally have bots that can move atoms.
Yeah, so you can make anything you want.
Slowly. So yeah, it's literally like it becomes complete imagination at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You're moving things atom by atom. But if you wrap the entire human body in a nanosuit layer, then it almost like you can almost think of it as like having your own, like every human becomes like a spaceship or like an EV, like is it EV suit, extra vehicle suit, like a space suit.
Yeah,
because effectively you're wrapped in this entire thing, And so then it can change color. It can like
change size, change anything.
Yeah,
add appendages. I mean, maybe
appendages.
well, yeah. So maybe a good idea of what might happen in the future when that could become commonplace is looking at say computer games now, like virtual avatars and stuff, where you can design anything that you want to be. And actually thinking of that now, it is actually kind of scary how boring a lot of people's visions are when you can do whatever you want with that. So, go super boomer style, like Second Life and stuff, or, current, like, say, Fortnite and things. But then you have to pay for those skins. Will totally be the same with nanorobots. If you want to take them to take this shape, pay for the extra skin.
It'll just be like, it'll be catgirls and stuff. Or you see the crazy stuff in VR chat where it's like...
yeah, that's a good example.
Like sexy Kermit.
Yeah, exactly. Sexy Kermit.
Kermit in like a bikini.
Far too close. That would be pretty rad.
It's not easy being green.
To be fair, though, I guess you could kind of be a sexy Kermit right now. Like, you just jump online, I'm sure, I've typed in sexy Kermit suit, get it delivered here the next day, wander around. And so what we'd do is we'd build them in our Turing-Complete factories, right?
Yes.
So factories now would be kind of Turing-Complete, I think. Almost.
Well, this idea I had a few years ago. It was the idea of because if you watch some of the videos around what Tesla's doing with their factories, like their Gigafactory, they always explain it as like it's this massive, complicated single machine where like stuff comes in, like raw materials, because they try to like do the whole vertically integrated thing where they make all the batteries themselves. So it's like aluminium comes in, lithium comes in, and they just kind of spit out batteries in cars. And so the ultimate thing would be like, imagine you had a factory where, so like obviously a Tesla factory is like, it's custom built, specifically built to make cars. It can't make iPhones, for example.
Yeah.
But what if you had a Turing-Complete factory where essentially you just, in one end of it, you just put in bloody like raw minerals, raw resources, like just aluminium, lithium, like just the raw shit.
Nickel.
And then nickel back. And then you just say, just make iPhones now, and it just spits out iPhones. Or you just say, let's make chairs now, and it just spits out chairs.
Hells yeah.
So like Turing-Complete, you just program it.
Yeah, you just put in whatever you want, and it just comes out.
Sounds like an incredibly hard engineering problem.
Well, it's kind of like the end game of 3D printers, hey, or just the end game of society, or end game of a lot of things. End game of nanorobots, because again, if nanorobots can actually just move, any atoms to do anything, then that is kind of awesome.
It'd be funny if it's like it becomes so complex, it's just a black box. Like, nobody knows how this Turing-Complete factory works. Yeah. There's something nanobots. All we know is we shit in one end, we put stuff in one end, we tell it what we want, and
it comes out the other end.
It's a Star Trek replicator, but like the size of like multiple football fields.
Oh man. Well, yeah, kind of like the deep learning stuff now. It's just like, it's a black box, but the AI kind of works. It's like, it's the exact same thing with this. And I mean, the stuff that comes out, we're pretty certain it's not poisonous, but it's a bit of a trade-off, really. That's the thing. Well, so I guess it's thinking about it, it's kind of a matter of shrinking down our current system, because like we've already got kind of a system, like just society in general, that does do that. Like you put in raw materials at one part of the planet, it gets taken away and, built into an iPhone. Yeah. So it's just making that smaller and smaller and smaller. It's a problem of miniaturization until you miniaturize all the way to nanorobots, right?
I guess so.
So it's like all of these things just going smaller. So it's a different stepping stone towards something. But then again, like maybe once you get to that level, there are some things that you can't do, but because they can be small enough, like in that black box, right, that you have those black boxes combining with other things around that now need to get built. So maybe that's where you're getting into like gigastructures and giant out there space things and all of that, not stuff that you can actually physically make in a smaller space. Well, yeah, that could actually start going the other way because, you're making big things rather than smaller things at the moment, whereas our most complicated things right now are pretty small.
Well, the iPhone, the way they make the iPhone now is kind of like a black box, and the way they got it smaller is they just put children in that black box, and the children assemble the iPhone.
That's their secret.
If you had adults assembling the iPhone, the black box would have to be bigger.
Maybe that's iPads because they're bigger?
Yeah, but the iPads are huge compared to the child's hands.
Yeah, that's very true.
They can get in there. They can get into the parts really easily.
All the nooks and crannies.
So we need smaller children.
Ah, right. There we go. There's the other miniaturization.
Atomic-sized children. If we could shrink children down to the size of atoms.
Yeah, they could actually pilot the nanorobots. They're not smart. There's no AI in this nanorobot situation. There's just enough tiny little humans that are in there piloting them. Mining jobs are literally moving like, atoms from here to there.
And they're all conscious. These nanobots, these nanobot children, they have dreams, they have hopes.
Yeah.
But
we give them coins and like you'd get a different skin that you can wear on your miner. And they feel very happy about that.
All they do all day is just move nickel atoms from one place to the next.
I mean, is it very different from the moment like you're just staring at a glowing rectangle most of the day and hey, you're just moving bits of light from one bit to another bit?
Dare you. How dare you bring this back to reality?
It's cut too deep.
What do? I move pixels.
Yeah, and then sometimes the lights flash in an order that's not good, so you get very upset, and you whack the keys, and then the lights flash in a different way, and you're like, okay, no, that's fine now. Things are good. And you can, it controls all your emotions. It's very fun.
Yeah, and then we have to pump up the caffeine to get this going, and then we have to down-regulate at the end of the day with alcohol and weed to...
Yeah, it's a good life.
Balance this out.
Good life.
To get the Fed coin so we can then buy food.
Get your feet in tubes. Well, yeah, so what actually happens when nanorobots are a thing? Like, are there any hard limits to nanorobots? Because that feels like such a transformative technology. And I don't know, I don't think I've gone down deep enough realizing what it could actually do. I mean, it was all the hype, like, decades ago and stuff.
It's
nanotech this,
the
nanotech
Feynman
that.
thing, yeah. The Feynman thing of like, there's always room at the bottom.
Yeah, right.
I think he was the one that roughly said that there's no limit in physics to just moving things atom by atom.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Pumping enough energy.
But then, it's just a massive engineering problem because
you
kind of have to like go orders of layers down where you have to have big machines that can then control smaller machines, which can like a fractal kind of like smaller and smaller and smaller machines. So you can send an instruction at the top and it just like it automatically kind of does this thing at the bottom. But yeah, like once you get nanobots, it's just like it becomes the whole magic thing. It's you imagine there's that whole idea of like you imagine a chair in front of you and it literally assembles.
Yeah,
because it just takes the atoms from the surrounding region or some goop and it just assembles a chair.
Well, so what I wonder with all of that is once you have all of this, say, like infinite power, let's just say, assuming
power.
that you can make anything you want for free, and you can manufacture anything, right? So you've got all of that. But so say your example of a chair, right? Once you've got a chair, that's it. You don't really need another chair.
We dissolve it into a better chair.
Yeah, so you can dissolve into something else. But
or
like
a Lambo.
I mean, I could kind of technically right now, it'd take a day and then I could get a chair delivered, but oh my God, I don't want to deal with that shit. It's just like, I've got my chairs, they're good enough, they're relatively comfy. The one I'm sitting on right now, I really don't like it, but oh God, the effort, replacing a couch, fuck that.
So rather than the Amazon 1 day or 1 hour delivery, you just want to order the Amazon Goop and you get like millisecond delivery.
Well, so that's it, right? So it's actually just shortening the amount of time to actually change whatever you want around. And like maybe you don't have to move stuff and do all of that. But I guess what I'm leaning towards is where does the equilibrium come into? Because once you've got everything done as you want, say in your house and stuff, what then changes for the individual? Maybe not much really, because you'd get to a point where you're not needing to change everything all the time. So maybe it becomes more of a society level thing that what nanorobots could change at that. Like where would that equalize out? What would it go to? Because there are only so many things you'd want to change to a point, unless we're going into the runaway paperclip thing. I think I've mentioned the paperclip optimizer in nearly every episode of this. Yeah. But so like when you actually get to a point of being able to change anything into anything else, because similar to say computers and stuff now that you can kind of display anything you want on a screen with at least pretty high graphical fidelity. And the limitations are actually what provide a lot of innovation, and we're seeing less of that now, especially in games and, well, I'd argue, movies. And
I guess
maybe I'm wrong. I'm just being old.
I guess the problem is it will become like memes made reality, which could be terrifying.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because then you would get mimetic warfare at a physical level.
Hells
instantly manifesting in a physical level. Because
I like that. Yeah,
at a society level, at that point, like if you can imagine it and it becomes reality instantaneously, then like everything just speeds up. Like rather than having the mimetic wars of like whose idea is best, it's like, well, here's my idea. Boom, it's in reality. It's a giant mech warrior. It's a nuke. It's
imagine that for entertainment, right? That you're sitting here rather than looking at just a screen or even doing VR or AR, you've actually just got nanorobots in front of you just dancing and making new shit and actually acting out stuff. Or say it's like maybe...
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, exactly. Well, say we spend less time now watching TV shows and movies, and it's more like, say, TikTok, Reddit, all stuff like that, like social media stuff. But if you have different ways you can see people's creations that they've made. So that actual way of sharing memes is you're like manipulating the world in front of you, and you're a part of that entire world. You're just swiping into different experiences as the nanorobots change into whatever you want around you, and you physically get to interact with all of that. The cat girls you were talking about before are going to be very popular, I'm sure.
They just instantly manifest in front of you, yeah.
Yeah. And then you go into the nukes, and then someone just slips one of them, and you're like, oh, man, again.
And
I don't want to get blown up.
But then if you have a backup, it's like, well, then the nanobots can reassemble you somewhere else.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
As long as they don't blow up the backup.
There was a sci-fi book about that, like when the perfect singularity happens, and like, you're all uploaded, and you're living your perfect life in a singularity and stuff. And I was saying that the things that people would love doing at that point was kind of like blood sports where you actually fight to the death, and it's getting into all of this intense stuff. And I don't really like the book too much, but it was very interesting saying that could be an actual driver because you're seeking out more and more human things and stuff that you can't experience. And they do all these stupid things with contracts and stuff about saying, oh, don't revive me even if I do die. And anyway, it was an interesting idea that maybe that would actually be a source of entertainment.
So I guess the dark side of all this is if we ever do get to this level of technology and humanity doesn't have the wisdom of gods, then we're basically going to end ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like,
holy moly, yeah.
That is like the whole literal concept of like power of gods, but no wisdom of gods.
Yeah. Well, so that's where it gets to a terrifying thing that, okay, just postulating this now, it's not nice, but the whole thought that when you actually have, say, a dictator in charge, and you actually just have one person that like limits all of the freedom that can actually be done with these crazy powerful technologies, like that might be a way to actually get past that until the next thing happens. Because like if it's perfectly democratic and anyone can do anything with it, you just get one flaw or one hack going through, and it's literally civilization ending at that point. I mean, I do find it funny that Grey Goo type stuff, and I do find it funny bringing it back to like today that they're with all of the bio labs and stuff that people can actually explore all this stuff, that it hasn't been more heavily regulated, especially with COVID. I thought more stuff would have been happening, but have you heard much about that? Or it just seems like you can just order the shit online and start splicing.
Yeah, but I think they do kind of crack down on it a bit. Like, so I know like you follow some of the biohackers, they do get kind of semi-audited, I guess.
So okay, cool.
If they get some sort of notoriety, they do get like watched.
Yeah.
But it's more of like a immune system of like the community kind of watching each other and making sure that something isn't happening. Like that's where you'd have to get to. Like you could have the dictator approach where it's like, okay, guys, you've all got nanobots. Don't make nukes. Don't make bioweapons, or just like don't harm other people or other entities. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And if you do, then we'll kill you. It'd be better if it was more like, hey, we're all intelligent enough to know that like we have vast power here, and we probably shouldn't use it for bad. Let's just use it for good.
Yeah.
And then everyone just kind of self-regulates, and then if they notice a bad actor, everyone just immediately pounces and goes, stop.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's also got its own risks as well. Hey? There's a lot of risks. It's risks everywhere. Yeah. And also, I mean, you can just imagine it as well, that people will design something with their nanorobots and they'll sell that for a few dollars, and it'll be just a whole DLC everywhere again. That, I mean, I guess sure, if you put in a lot of
Amazon goop, it would be like,
yeah,
well, 1 kilogram of goop gets you X amount of items.
Yeah. We've worked out now with software that you can infinitely replicate at the marginal cost of producing anything new of software is essentially zero.
Lock it down.
Yeah, exactly. No, make it scarce, boys. Get some more money.
We live in an era of abundance with an economic model based on scarcity.
No, we add artificial scarcity to stuff.
Like that's the whole crypto thing. It's like, oh, well, it's only valuable if it's scarce. It's like, fucking, you have not learned anything, people. Come on. Abundance is key. Seek abundance.
And then you can wear nice, fashionable things at that point. Abundant fashion.
Abundant fashion.
With your nanorobots built in your Turing-Complete factories.
limited by brand. It's like, well, are you wearing oh fuck, fashion brands with nanobots? Kind of like defeats the point. Because if you could just like perfectly replicate, like what's that big fashion brand that everyone wants? Gucci. Fucking rich, dumb, hedonistic bullshit. Anyway, like,
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, Gucci's great. It's like it's a fucking symbol.
Go Gooch. Get your Gooch on. I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of date with all that. I don't.
Oh yeah, it's all the kids, all the young
Kids like Gucci, huh?
Yeah, it's because it's all in rap video. It's just like it's pure marketing branding. But I love now that you just like in one line you're like, oh, so you're wearing Gooch, are you?
Yeah, get your Gooch on. Those kids and their Gooches.
But yeah, like in an age of nanobots, it's like, well, if you could perfectly replicate anything, then the brands become irrelevant. Or are we just gonna have like we're gonna have like nanobot clothing, but it's gonna have like, oh, it's got the brand on there, the flavor of the week, like. Are you wearing the...
Yeah, and if you've paid for the deluxe upgrade.
The Schlongel brand?
Yeah.
It'll just
the
be all
special
like...
Schlongel DLC.
It'll be all like sex organ brand names, like Gooch.
Oh, man. Well, I hope it gets shaken up because I am still annoyed at thinking about that, about all of the fashion and all the new tech that's been available. Uh-oh.
We've got a warning on our machine. I think we're good. It just says it's limited space available. Is it still recording?
It is still recording. Oh, okay.
Oh, we're still on.
Is this live, boys?
The machines wanted us to stop at some point there.
Well, that's probably a good time to wrap it up then, I guess.
Yeah, did we miss anything?
I think we did pretty well. Those were 3 pretty interesting topics. I like it. I feel like Turing-Complete factories are a step before getting to nanorobots. It's all on a sliding scale.
Sliding scale.
Yeah.
It's fractal.
Over time, that will progress from 1 to 1, and then we'll still have the exact same fashion. I'll still be wearing my black t-shirts and jeans.
Blue pants.
Yeah.
Everyone wear blue pants and black t-shirt. Peak fashion.
Peak fashion. Well, the peak fashionista. I'm Tristan Grace.
I'm Nathan Waters.
We'll catch you guys next time.